So, I had this leather skirt that was older than me and it looked pretty bad. So, the only possible solution seems to just throw such thing away. But here is what I've done, spending half an hour of my life. You may check if it changed. That's not modest, but I'm astonished by myself with these results. So I really want to share this method because it gives a second life to the clothes that were initially of a good quality, and it's sad to just throw them away. Now let's have a closer look at its state before the renovation. What is obvious is that the leather is quite tough. Also, it looks old, worn, dim, and there are these erased fragments on the edges. But as for the skirt's hardware, it's alright. That is called fittings, skirt fittings. So here is what I've already told you about, erased edges. And it seems like such a defect can be fixed by the coloration solely. But let me prove you wrong. The diagnostics is over, we have an anamnesis. And the first step is to iron it very well. Yes, you haven't misheard me. You can iron leather goods. The only precondition is to turn off the steam. And I'm using a 3-dots regime, which is a quite high setting. And one more rule, you need to take this standard paper and iron above it. Leather is such a material that likes to be pressed quite a lot. So you need to put much effort and pressure, but at the same time do not expect it to look perfect from this very first iteration. That's impossible. You are doing this initial ironing with one particular purpose, to launch the processes inside leather that will let it absorb well what you are going to apply on it. And besides, there cannot be too much ironing for leather goods. One more moment, I want to warn you that leather is extremely hot after ironing, so please don't touch it. Make sure that you thoroughly iron all the seams. That's important for the next step. So, now the magic is to begin. You are to take some grease. In my case, it is glycerin. Vaseline is also fine. And you need to take a clean sponge for dishes. Now your task is to put some amount of glycerin on the sponge. You may see that it's not several drops, it's more. I used half of this bottle in total for this skirt. And let's start the greasing. You should rub it into the leather without any hesitations. Do not be afraid to spoil it or to make it dirty. Also, you should pay special attention to the seams. The idea is to put it into the leather as much as you can, so you should put a lot of pressure and make sure that you go thoroughly on these erased edges. Later you will witness some marvelous transformations here. Here you can see how I work on this very last section and how much it already differs from the rest. And you may think that this is a very strange idea to grease a cloth to make it dirty, but trust me, it's worth it and it's all for the good. The only negative effect is the necessity to wash the table after these manipulations. So you may see how it already glowed up, but it's really greasy. And by the way, have a look at this not long ago new sponge. This is what you should get if you work effectively. Also, I think my veins speak for themselves. As I already mentioned, Much pressure is needed. So the skirt is quite greasy, it's sticky, and the solution for this is not to go and wash it, but to leave it overnight. Hi, welcome back, and here we are. It's not greasy anymore, it absorbed everything we gave it. And the way it miraculously went from tough to soft overnight is just unbelievable. I think the main wonder is with its edges. If you look closely, of course, you might notice that it's not new, but they are not white anymore. I don't know how this works, but they really became darker. And the last stage of renovation is to iron it one more time. Now that it's soft and flexible, this is the best condition to finally smooth everything out. And you may use several sheets of paper if you worry about these grease leftovers. I used only one because there is really nothing to remove. It's totally fine. So that you are ironing it to not only iron it, but to make sure that your skirt is not sticky. I like how it's steaming. And finally, here is the result. Taking the opportunity, let me ask you to subscribe to my channel if you like this video. And good luck to you with your renovation endeavors.